Hi guys. So yeah, thought I'd come on here. Yeah. Well, I kind of forgot what I was going to say right now, but yeah. I guess I can kind of see it. Sorry guys, I recently got my hair done again. So I'm literally looking into the camera trying to see if I can see the change. But yeah. Okay, so I am watching Insatiable on Netflix, and if no one has seen it, there's one little scene in one episode where where one, if not two, of the main characters try and use a ouija board, and that just got me thinking, because I don't know, in a way that just seemed fake, like those characters were not taking it seriously at all, or at least only one person was trying to take it seriously while all the others weren't. But then that got me thinking, do people actually do that? Like, do people actually think that, oh, I will try and play with the ouija board and see if something happens? Like, as someone who's getting more into the spiritual side of life, like, yeah, as someone who is actually trying to get more intact with the spiritual side of life, like, I've never really actually used an actual ouija board myself or with friends in high school, but I feel like they are real, and they really can be used as a portal to connect with spirits who are no longer here in the physical earth or on the physical earth. I mean, like, my only experience with something that even resembled a ouija board was once during my once during my senior year of high school, in one of my and it was towards the end of the year too. Like in my gym class, so yeah, basically towards the end of my senior year, I had a gym class which I don't know, had people of like all ages, something, but I don't even remember how I came to meet these people, or these two girls, but I ended up getting in a group, being with or hanging around these two seniors. Maybe it was my junior year. I don't know, I took maybe 3 gym classes during the course of my 4 years there, so yeah, but anyway. I definitely know I was younger than those girls, though, that I was with, who were seniors at the time. But anyway, they and I guess 2 other people on our last class of the day decided to write the alphabet and letters and yes or no on a piece of paper. So instead of it being an actual ouija board, it was just a piece of paper with a coin that had the letters and numbers written in a similar way that a ouija board is set up. And so basically they roped me into joining them, and obviously I did not even know what they were doing at that time. So I thought absolutely nothing of it. So we all put at least one finger on the coin if we could. And then they did the ouija board thing, or they asked a couple questions or so, and the coin moved. And they actually said that oh, the school is haunted. Okay. Well, at the time I didn't really think anything of it. Or at least I don't think I thought anything of it at the time. Whether they were serious or not. But now, looking back on it, I just feel sure the school's haunted. Yeah, sure, the school's probably haunted. Although it's although I'm pretty sure those people were just saying stuff at this point. But Yeah, and then I don't remember exactly, but I don't think anyone even said like bye or anything. We just we basically just took our hands off the coin and left. Like, and left everything alone. But now that I'm getting into like the spiritual side of life, I actually wonder if I mean, like, there's no doubt in my mind that something like a ouija board could actually work and can actually like summon and call in spirits. But I am wondering now if like like, because with everything that goes on spiritually, like, intention is everything. So if you have, whether you use an actual ouija board or not, or whether you like use a piece of paper and a coin or glass or something that could be used like in place of an actual ouija board. There's no doubt in my mind that these things can actually work if you go into it with the intention of this is actually going to work. We're going to call in the spirit or of some kind. But what makes me wonder is, I mean, there are going to be people who take stuff seriously, and there are just going to be people who don't take stuff seriously and just take things as a joke, like, oh yeah, this is fun, this is cool, this is great, like, we're not really summoning anything, but I'm still gonna go along with this because I want to see if it actually works. Like, Maddox, get mama, come get mama, come get your mama. Yep, that's the doggy. But yeah, I guess my question is, and I guess what I'm wondering is, like, how can, and someone who is actually more in touch with spirituality and the spiritual side, can you weigh in on this? But how can you tell if it's like, if you do mess around with something like a ouija board, or even use a substitute for a ouija board, how can you tell if it's like actually working and something is communicating with you through the board or whatever you're using as a substitute, or if it's other people that are just messing with you and moving the planchette or the coin or the glass or whatever you're using as a substitute just to mess with you and act like, oh, it's a spirit contacting us through the board. When in reality, they're just the one moving thing and just saying that it's a spirit to mess with you. because I can so see that happening too. I mean, if spirits, I mean, like, that's definitely a possibility of if you do use something like that to try and contact the spirit, there is a definite possibility of you getting one and actually communicating with some kind of spirit or demon. But there's also the possibility of, like, nothing happening, or the possibility of you not contacting anything, but someone is purposely moving the planchette or coin or whatever you're using in the place of a planchette and just saying that, oh, it's a spirit, we're contacting a spirit. Like, dude, I actually found those kind of people irritating. Because it's like, really, guys? You are. Like, really, guys? This is not something. Like, guys, this is not something you just joke with and play with. And be like, oh, we're contacting spirits. This is cool. Like, this is something to not take, like, I'm pretty damn sure playing with a ouija board or even making, like, a makeshift ouija board is not something you can just play with or take seriously enough to actually start trying to mess with it, and to try and contact something, but also not seriously enough to where if something does happen and you do make contact with the spirit, then to be like, oh, someone is pushing this and messing with us. Like, dude, even when I was in elementary school, and I remember this was in 5th grade, but I don't remember who said this to me, but someone said or told me the game of Bloody Mary and how you play it. And that, like, they dared me to go, like, play it, or, like, quote unquote, play it in the bathroom. And I literally went back to class after recess just crying. So then I told my 5th grade teacher at the time, who, like, told me that, like, oh, we would both go to the bathroom together and do it. Just, like, so that I could see that it wasn't real or something. But then I think, like, either later on in that year or possibly even earlier, because I switched elementary schools when I was, like, I switched elementary schools after 4th grade, so I don't know if it was before I switched elementary schools or after I switched elementary schools and after I heard about the Bloody Mary thing. But someone also told me, like, something about, like, a certain cloud, like, if you were to go and stand under a certain cloud and then say a certain thing, like, stuff would come raining down from just that one cloud and, like, basically kill you or something like that. And yeah, Yeah, and then even once in like 7th or 8th grade, I think like one of my friends at the time, and I really want to quote the term friend with that boy too, because I'm pretty damn sure he just liked to like torment me, but he would tell me scary stories off and on, and there was one scary story that I don't remember the name of that one either, but there was like a ghost story he told me at one point that when he was over at my house one day after school, and so much when he told me a ghost story, we would go into my bathroom at the time, which like we would go into my bathroom at the time and shut the door and stay in the dark where he told me that story. But I remember with this story he told me about like a guy with an axe or just a metal hammer. I don't even know how. I don't even know how I pictured it at the time because I didn't even know what it was. But when he said hammer, I kind of pictured like either Thor's hammer or like one of those meat tenderizer things, but on a much bigger scale. So like, I thought it was talking about something like this, but on a much bigger scale. But like, so something like this, but as big as an axe. Like, I don't even know how, but that was the picture I got when he said like something like a hammer. But apparently, and then he said like, oh, the guy would go around like killing people with it or something like that. And if you call his name 3 times or whatever he said, he would show up and like beat you to death with the hammer. And then he started doing that, and I just remember like basically crying. Like, I can't remember if I was like crying and screaming, but I definitely remember starting to cry and panic and just trying to get out of the bathroom as quick as possible. And I don't know, I just feel like now that I'm getting more into spiritual stuff, then like I just feel like now that I'm getting a little more into spiritual stuff and the spiritual side of this earth, I can't help but feel that like all of these like all of these instances where I took that kind of thing really seriously, I cannot help but feel that, like, even at the time, like, even if I didn't know it at the time, like, I took it seriously enough because I knew that it actually could be serious. Or that, like, this, or, like, looking back, I don't know if I took all those things seriously because I knew or even had a feeling that spirits and the spirit realm and all that spiritual stuff was real. And that's why I would freak out over these things easily. And actually, like, I can't remember when this started happening, or if you would even consider this sleep paralysis. But yeah, that started happening relatively young. Like, I don't know, maybe 7th or 8th grade, maybe. But even then, all it was like, I thought I saw like these shadow outlines of people or figures, or just like dark black shadow figures. But I could still move if I tried really hard to. But I would just be so anxious and so scared that all I would be able to do was just lay there and stare either at the figure, or if I was on my side and the figure was behind me and I could feel the figure behind me, then like, I could still move and turn if I really wanted to, but I would be so scared and anxious that I would just stay put. So I don't know if that would technically, I don't know if that would technically not be considered sleep paralysis, because I could still move my body if I really wanted to, or tried to. But yeah. And I still had those feelings and those nights during my first 2.5 to 3 years of college. And now I feel like every once in a while and I don't know if this is like a third eye opening type thing, but I feel like I've been every once in a while, like if I focus, or like I'll just feel a little like tingling pressure right around here, and if I were to keep focusing on that area, then every once in a while I would see like a black shadow figure with either red eyes or white tie, just like a black shadow figure with noticeable, either red or noticeable eyes. So, yeah, like, I don't know if that was just because my third eye was trying to open and because of my past with spiritual stuff, then, and unknown to me, demons have been around me since then. And now with my third eye trying to open, I'm now starting to see glimpses of them. Or at least one of them. But, yeah. Like, and as someone who's trying to get into more contact with God too. I mean, people say God works and talks through other people. So, and I can see how that would be true. But at the same time, it's like, sorry guys, I'm shaking my right arm out because it hurts from holding my phone. But, yeah, it's like, I can so see how God works and talks through other people. But since that is true, then Satan or Lucifer also works and talks through other people too. Because I mean, seriously, like, I'm pretty damn sure whatever God can do up in heaven to his kids on this 3D earth, I'm pretty damn sure Satan can do the same shit from down below in the underworld to these people on the 3D earth too. So, yeah. And one of my mom's so-called friends, or so-called family friends, is apparently, from what I've gathered of her and from what I can tell, she seems really religious. And like, God this, devil that. Like, she seems to have some kind of spiritual answer for most, if not all of the, like, stuff that she knows that about with me, or that I'm dealing with. She seems to have, like, some kind of God or biblical answer for it, like whenever my trauma comes up in like flashbacks, or even just as like the after effects, feel like she's just like, oh, you know, that's Satan getting into your head and making you think these bad thoughts. So what you need to do is say like something like, away with you, Satan. And it's like, apparently from what I've heard from other people just and on social media and the internet, apparently there are some other religious people who are like that and seem to have a religious answer for everything. It's like, guys, and to those people it's like, should we possibly try and put God first in like every decision we make? Yeah, possibly. And we should possibly try and get his opinion, but like, I don't know, I just feel like I've heard, like I've seen this one quote a few times, like a few different times in different places, and I think I've even heard it too a couple times, but it's like, the quote's basically like religion is for people who are scared of going to hell. And spirituality is for people who have already been there. And in a way, that is true. Like, okay. Like, does anyone else agree? Or can anyone else agree or side? And if there is anyone else who is more spiritual than me, because there's always going to be someone who knows and is better at someone else than at something. So yeah. Yeah. Like, what do you guys think? Like, and I think, like, until that, like, ouija board experience thing, or whatever that thing was with that makeshift ouija board in class, like, up until then, yeah, I was having like problems with the beers at home, but still I was always just like apparently like calm enough at school to where I could, like, it took a lot to get me angry, but start of junior year, apparently I was so stressed and high strung. So maybe it was sophomore year that ouija board thing happened. But yeah. Does anyone think that that experience combined with everything else could be a possible reasons, or it could be a possible reason or reasons to why I quite possibly might have evil entities around me now, if I do? Because I keep feeling like that is a possibility. So yeah. And I don't know if there are any psychics on here, but if there are any psychics on here, can you watch this video and tell me what you think, because I would like to hear your guys' opinion on this. Or any like really spiritual people. So yeah, bye, guys. I guess I'll see you later. Or talk to you later. So Yeah.